All right.
Maherco.
Hello.
Hey. How you doing?
I'm doing fine. How you doing, bro?
Doing very well, thank you. Appreciate you dropping in. I think, did you hear Andrew's intro there? Hey, good to see you, man.
Good to see you too. Long time no see, bro.
Yeah, I know, right? It's been a minute. You've been you just finished Ramadan, of course.
Yeah.
Happy
Ramadan. Happy Ramadan.
Eid, right? Yeah.
Yeah, happy Eid, happy Ramadan. Thank you, bro. So how's everything?
No worries, man. It's been a long time coming getting you here on Kick Talk. We've been trying for a while, so obviously, yeah, appreciate you taking the time here to represent the I think the Middle Eastern, North Africa sort of region, and the obviously Jordan, Saudi Arabia, all the different aspects of that region, and come talk to us a bit about what you guys are up to and what the streaming landscape looks over there, especially here on Kick, because it's popping. There's a lot of people over here. There's a lot of drama. There's a lot of things happening in the region, and we're keen to hear about it.
Yeah. There's a lot of competition between streamers and everything. So it's going very well so far. Maybe I've been one of the longest one in the Middle East to join Kick. So I watch all of that, so I know everything about the whole drama thing and the whole streaming industry. And I'm really thankful actually to be in your show. It's been an honor. I have never imagined that I will join your show any time. So that's a big honor for me, bro.
Oh man, well, I'll tell you what, the pleasure is 100% ours, and also to your community that's watching past in your chat too. I think you're, as always, got a big crowd. But man, listen, I've got a few questions from my side, and then I was thinking that maybe I kind of hand it over to you to ask Kick, anything that may be at the top of your mind in terms of what you or your community or the region for that matter is looking to understand a little bit better. But just quickly, on the back of what Andrew mentioned before you came in here, you've been pretty much consistently sort of a top 5-10 streamer here on Kick, on the global stage, which is incredible.
Yeah.
You're quite literally a veteran in the live streaming space.
Yeah.
You've been streaming since 2005, right? That's what Andrew was just mentioning before. You've been about YouTube and everything for pretty much the better part of 2 decades.
No, I haven't been 2005. I tried to join YouTube since 2011, but the equipment didn't help, and there was not a lot of equipment. I tried to upload some videos. I didn't understand the algorithm for quite a while, and then I graduated from the university as an accountant. Then I worked in an accountant for about 8 years, but I was a gamer. So after I go back from work, I used to play for 8-9 hours a day. So this is basically a normal thing for me. A lot of influencers, which is not streamers, used to ask me, how do you do that? How do you stream every day 8 hours? You don't get tired? You're 40. Imagine if I was 25 or 23, man. I will do a Subathon every day. So this was one of their questions. But my answer was always that this is used to be my normal day before I got married. When I got married, I decreased that time a little bit so I can have time with the family. But since it's become my job, now it's okay to stream 8 hours a day, because most of the people work 8 hours a day or even more sometimes. So yeah, so basically, and I take this. It's like a mutual relationship between you and the audience. You have to respect the audience. Imagine if you were watching, what's your favorite show? What's your favorite TV show? Game of Thrones, Breaking Bad. What was it?
Hey, they're up there. They're two very good examples.
Give me one. Give me one so I can give you an example what I mean of not cutting my audience.
Yeah, let's take Breaking Bad. Breaking Bad.
Okay, Breaking Bad. Imagine if you watched the first 3 seasons of Breaking Bad and then they told you, sorry, we will not continue the show. You will be very furious, you know. So this is what happened between me and my audience. You understand? They're used to you. If you don't stream every day, I get a lot of hate messages from people that love me because I didn't stream today, you know, like, come on, man, what do we do today? What do we do tonight? Come on, go stream. I don't care. I don't care if you're traveling. I don't care. You have to stream. So they're used to you like you're used to them. So you have to show some respect to your audience. Sometimes maybe you can get rich. And this happened by a lot of streamers, by the way, in the Middle Eastern and in the, like, I don't know about the Western thing, but okay, I have a lot of money, so I should stop or something, or I should like lay low. Or
you can't do that, though, right, man? The community would kill you.
Yeah, exactly. So it's not fair to make someone love you and watch you every day for years, and then stop streaming for a while. So. This is why I've been consistent.
So you'd say that's kind of the key to success here, right? Is almost that two-way relationship with yourself and the community, and really respecting that, not taking it for granted.
I respect my audience. I understand that they really want to watch the stream every day, but I don't forget myself. I don't forget myself. Sometimes I have to travel every now and then, but I try to make it as low as possible. And nothing killed the streamers' views as much as stop streaming or inconsistency, let's say. Because these people, those people want to watch stream. They don't like YouTube. They don't like Instagram. They don't like TikTok. There's some, like certain amount of people who like to watch streams. So if you don't give them what they want, they will search for someone else. You understand what I mean? You know?
Yeah, no, exactly right. I think it's a competitive landscape in that sense, right? It's kind of like, you know, if you're not actively being able to meet the entertainment requirements of your audience, they'll find someone else to watch, right? And then suddenly you might become their second or third or fourth or fifth favorite streamer, and then suddenly it's harder to get, you know, people online when when multiple people are on. It is like, I think people forget that sometimes, right? Streaming is kind of like, it's you versus other streamers almost, in a friendly way, of course, but it's competitive, and consistency there, I think, is very, very, very important. And obviously, you've been remaining consistent now for over 10 years.
Basically around 9, 8, 10 years. Consistently, like very, very consistent. So, but
Maherco, you're an accountant before this, right? Is there any advice you can give anyone from an accounting perspective that comes to mind?
Like, I didn't used to be a very good accountant, to be honest.
What do you mean you weren't any good?
It's not like I don't like my job, but like if my manager,
I've never heard someone say I'm not a good accountant or I'm not a good lawyer.
No, what I mean is, if my manager saw me how consistent I am in streaming, and he remembers how I used to do my work as an accountant, it's the total opposite. I used to be lazy, not showing up a lot of times, like taking sick leaves and stuff like that. So because it's not something that I want to do, it's just something that I have to do. But now when it's my thing, something that I love, so basically I'm living my dream now. I used to look at people 2010, like PewDiePie and all the YouTubers, the famous YouTubers and stuff like that. I used to say, I can do that, man. I swear to God, I can do that. I've been doing that my whole life since the 90s, since the Nintendo NES, you know. I used to be like a weirdo back in the days. You know, in the 90s, if you play a lot of like Nintendo or Sega or NES or like Sakhar, I don't know if you know that name. It has something in English, but you used to be a weirdo, but now it's weird not to be playing games. It's the total opposite.
Hey, even I feel that way. Well, Andrew, is that true too? The 90s?
Yeah, man. I came. Look, I got all my old gear behind. I got my old NES up here, right, and I got my old PlayStation.
Yeah,
so
I see it.
It's nostalgia, man. Like, so yeah, I used to blow into the cartridges. I used to have to like, smack it. I used to just like, it's old school. So yeah, like I think me and Maherco kind of ran in the. You might have come up with GameCube though before.
Yeah, of course.
Or were you rolling with the NES?
Yeah. So how old are you? I think we're similar age.
I'm 48.
You're 40.
Well, I'm gonna be
48.
I'm gonna be 48.
All right.
I'm gonna be 48 in July. So I'm rolling it up. I'm technically 47.
Oh, I'm 40.
Wait, what day in July, Andrew?
July 20th.
Oh, that's fuck. We got our birthdays like 3 days between each other. That's right.
Oh, for real? Like you the 17th or the 23rd?
Yeah, 17th. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I'm 40. I'm sorry. A lot of my audiences don't understand English a lot, so they're asking me for translation. So, guys, I will take this video and translate it and put it on YouTube. If you guys, if some of you don't understand what we're talking about, is it okay, Eddie, if I took this video and translate it and put it on YouTube?
Of course.
Yes,
of course.
So everyone can understand. So about one of the most important question I got asked a lot about Eddie, like how Eddie reached where he is right now at that like early age of his life, like what's the steps you've been through? How did you now, like you're a very famous guy, we call you the owner of Kick. I know you're like semi owner, but like you're big. You know you're huge for a lot of people. But so how did Eddie, like what's the process? How did you come to where you are right now?
Well, you answered the question before about how you managed to become quite successful in the streaming side, right? And what you said there, two things mainly resonated with me. The first was consistency, and the second aspect was, staying true to yourself, staying true to your community, staying, the same, right? Not changing. I think it's the same with anything in a lot of aspects, like business, for example, right? Consistency in business is incredible. It's really important, whether that's consistently treating your colleagues and your staff, well, consistently treating your customers well, consistently sticking to your word and making sure that what you say has weight. I think consistency across the success from a business perspective is incredibly important. Just like, with streaming, right? And, I think also in the sense of staying true to where you came from, right? I think a lot of people in business and a lot of people in sort of, at least sort of what you're referring to, as they get bigger or better, they start to change a little bit. I don't know. I think it's bad. I think you just got to stick to what you're doing well. Just continue to remain consistent and stay true to who you are. I think that's sometimes a couple of the biggest pieces of advice that I can give people. But at the end of the day, right, it all just comes down to being motivated and loving what you do. I absolutely fucking love spending my time working, whether it's on Kick or other projects. I don't look at what I do as work for even a second. It's so much fun. It's the biggest and most greatest opportunity to be able to be involved in these industries that I'm in. And, I never take that for granted. So, again, I think, there's obviously a lot of luck involved as well, just with anything. So there's a whole bunch of factors, but at the same time, I would, I would very heavily correlate it to live streaming and the success of what live streamers see. A lot of the same concepts apply.
Yeah. One thing is very important and a good point. I should point to a lot of questions come to me as a streamer. So you mentioned luck. Luck is one factor, but staying in top is a different thing. You know, sometimes you need to be lucky to be where you are, but to stay at that level or to maintain that is a lot harder than getting this luck sparkle, you know. So for people who say, like, I've been streaming for 5 years, I only have 200 viewers and everything, and why you're successful? You were just lucky. If I was just lucky, a lot of people got lucky and got famous in like 2 minutes for one video. You know,
no, wait, but your TikTok is like, okay, look. So right now on Maherco's channel, he's streaming. He's got about 13,500 viewers right now. So this might be the most watched TikTok episode that we've had so far between the two channels, right?
And to be honest, this is not the time I stream, so and it's in English.
No shade towards you at all. I guess to drive home the point that you're saying about your success and luck, like, not only are you popping off on Kick, but you pop off on TikTok, you pop off on YouTube. Hey man, in our research, man, everything that you touch and everything that you've done, it just goes viral, and so you cannot fake that. That's not luck.
I used to have 2 times, like 2 years ago, like I separate my time between stream and YouTube, and I was very successful on my YouTube channel. You mentioned you want me to show the setup on the stream. We might do that, but I will show you some stuff that I did on YouTube when I had time to that. I reached like millions of views on each videos for quite a while, but now I focused on streaming because I feel like I drain myself out. So I give the YouTube channel to a friend of mine, where he can take some videos from my live stream and just upload them. So I don't do YouTube videos separately anymore. But I used to get millions of views back then, and I used to get millions of views on my Instagram reels and on TikToks. But now I like just focused on streaming, and that's it. So I don't want to feel drained anymore, and I have a family, so I have to give them some time for themselves. I used to finish 7 hours streaming and then like take a video for 2 hours, then send it and montage it for 2 hours. So I was like in a very stressful time. But now I said, come on, man, let's just focus on streaming, and that's it. So that's what I'm doing right now. But so yeah. That's about the situation about all of my other channels and stuff like that.
Yeah, you're crushing it, man. I think, to Andrew's point, just driving it home, right? I think when it comes to content creation and being entertaining in this sort of creator world that we live in, when you're able to kind of, jump between platforms, jump between types of variations of content and succeed in everything you do, that there's special, and I think it truly goes to show that entertainment value and that real loyal community that you have cultivated. So, again, just props to you, Maherco.
Yeah, thanks a lot, bro. Look, in our field, you have to be creative all the time. You have to, like 3 years ago, we only used to play one game, and I'm seriously like against that. In terms of gaming, it's like variety streaming. But now you have to give your audience every now and then something new. Like I try to create new stuff every now and then, create like some challenges, create some and events, create some different and my type of live streaming, so I can keep people in my stream and even gain more people. You don't know, you don't know how much successful was the Counter-Strike tournament that we did together. uh, it have a lot of positive like feedback from the Middle Eastern community, the streamers and the audiences. It was very successful because we were only used to like PUBG Mobile and stuff like that, and like some certain games, RB and stuff like that. But when we did like a tournament, I always like have a vision in the future, and I want to improve the Middle Eastern streaming all the time. I try to push it a little bit further, so I can help people who are behind me to do the things that I do. So that's what I'm trying to do. So I'm not doing everything for myself. Of course, I do things for myself, but I'm doing it for the region in general.
Love that, man. I think, yeah, what a lot of what you do in the region as well, from what I understand, is you are kind of somebody who certainly goes outside the normal trends, right? I think, you know, for example, like you were one of the first people to really embrace sort of just chatting component of variety streaming in the region, right? I think, you know, before you had these segments, obviously Middle Eastern region, heavily gaming focused, which is amazing. You know, we love gaming, but you know, you kind of took this more take on being able to kind of pivot and you know, just talk about anything, right? People are here to listen to you. I think your Subathon, of course, recently, you know, the 30-day Subathon you did, you know, that was just you hanging out, doing a bit of gaming here and there. But most of the time, people just wanted to sit there and listen to you talk and communicate with your community, with your you know, the friends that you invited around. That was an incredibly successful Subathon, by the way. I just want to give you, you know, props for that. That was amazing. You know, you did a great job there.
Talking about that, to be honest, that was not my vision of the Subathon. It's supposed to be a lot better. It went good, but it's not what I wanted in terms of the people who I want to invite and the budget and, you know, the backstory of the bad guy that steal us and everything. And so I was planning it to be a little bit bigger, but it's fine for a first Subathon. But I promise my audience, like when I come here to Malta, like the next Subathon is gonna be fucking huge.
It's gonna be bigger,
a lot bigger. It's like
you got any you know, hints behind the scenes?
I'm working behind the scenes, and
any reveals that you can give us here right now? No,
I'm just saying, like, I will not do it if it wasn't like humongous, like not huge. Like I want to bring all the Arab celebrities, most of them, like actors, singers, not just content creators. You know, that was my vision for the first Subathon, and we used to have the money for that, but you know what happened. So the next one, I learned from my mistakes, not to trust anyone. So, and some things you should do by your own hand, or like make sure of everything and put a lawyer out there so you can be like careful about it. So basically, there will be a second version of the Subathon, and it will be huge. That I promise the audience, and I promise you guys.
Awesome. Well, looking forward to the announcement. I think, if that last one wasn't up to your expectations, and you know you got even higher expectations for the next one, then I tell you what, I can't even begin to expect what that's going to end up turning out in terms of end results. So that's that's awesome. Maherco, before I hand it over to you for everything, I just wanted to quickly ask you, what do you think that the Kick can do better at in the Middle Eastern region, or Middle Eastern North African sort of region? Like, what is something we can focus on? You know, obviously, we're obviously very heavily involved with the region. We speak to a lot of people, but you know, hearing it straight from you, what is it that Kick needs to work on right now to support the Arabic community?
Okay, to be honest, most of the complaints I get, I get in touch with you guys. I told you about, which is like KCIP rating, and I watch your tweet about like the English native speaking KCIP rating is better than anything in the world, and I understand that from the point of view of a business. So it's fair and everything, but like maybe the region always, like in terms of all social media platforms, we're always underestimated, and that I don't like, to be honest. Like we're always underpaid in terms of sponsorships, in terms of like YouTube rating, whatever you call it. Wherever you go, the Middle Eastern always get paid less. Maybe that a point of view of a business, and everyone should understand that. But I hope that can improve in the future. But in terms of Kick, I wish if you can add like the bits like on Twitch, or like we used to have on Facebook something called stars. So it's like a donation, but through Kick. It's like a sub, but where you can send the message to your favorite streamer. Yeah. So like he can send like let's go. I think you're already working on that, and you call it Kicks, right?
Kicks, yeah. So that one there is well and truly underway. It's probably not coming out in the next, probably I'd say month or two, but it's not far around the corner. Okay. I think this week just passed. I was involved, fortunately, in a few discussions around how that's coming along. Got a bit of an update on where it's at, but it's looking good, man. It's looking good. We've got a few really big updates, very close to being ready to push into production or into the live website, and then some fast follows in terms of kicks is what we're calling them. So it's gonna be great. It's gonna be really good. I think it's gonna really open up the donation, the gifting community, the idea of really allowing, especially small to medium sized streamers or people who aren't as big, who have the opportunity to lean into sponsorships and those opportunities. Obviously, the ability to have more people donate without having to say gift a minimum of one sub, which is $5, is just going to be incredible. I think I can't wait to really open up the opportunity to receive, like, maybe it's just 5 cents, maybe it's 50 cents, or maybe it's $1 worth of kicks. That stuff adds up. It really does. And obviously you can then link that in, hopefully, to the API and some of the Stream Elements, Streamlabs, and other third-party tooling, aspects, which can then hopefully lead to really cool streams and interactivity. Anyway, we're on that. We definitely hear you loud and clear on that, and I think it's going to really help not just people like yourself, but especially streamers who really rely on that sort of donation and gifting ecosystem, and those are sometimes the sectors that we really love to support.
And like big streamers don't really care a lot about those things. We do care, of course, if like it shows love that the viewer love you. This is why he give you a donation or he give you a gifted sub. But some like mid streamers, or like for streamers who doesn't have high views or stuff, so a lot of them rely on these things. But subs for now works just fine. And in terms of the region, I hope like if the KCIP rating or the KPP right now, Kick Partner rating, like a little bit increase, so it can be like more useful. And I know about the I don't know if we should talk about that or not.
Talk about the KCIP?
Yeah, no, I mean the fake view, the fake views things. This is an issue. And
viewbotting.
Yeah, viewbotting.
Man, of course. What do you want to speak about viewbotting?
A lot of people says like there's a problem in Kick in terms of viewbotting, but I know for sure. I've been in 3 platforms. It's a problem in every platform, and the thing is you cannot stop it because it's like a game hack. game hack. You update your system, they update theirs. So it's like very hard to get rid of that. So is Kick gonna do something about that? Is like, because if some people do it, it's gonna affect other guys. If you understand what I mean. Let me give you.
I think just to sort of lean in there, Maherco. Viewbotting is something that frustrates us. I think it frustrates everyone almost more than anything. It's like you said, it's somewhat inevitable, right? It's like game hacking. It's like any form of viewer inflation, metric inflation. It's prevalent across all platforms. It's not just exclusive to Kick, but it fundamentally is dishonest, right? Because it essentially pushes you above maybe somebody else who may not be doing or engaging in that activity, right? So it's this fairness, it's this inherent distrust that it can end up building, and the resentment that it creates amongst people who don't engage in it.
Yes.
I think from Kick side, right? From Kick side, we certainly have a lot of process. We have measures in place to certainly try to curb it as much as possible. But you rightfully said, no matter how we go about it, people will continue to find ways to do it, and they have been for the last 20 years or so. YouTube, Twitter, all these services. You've been able to buy likes, buy follows, buy this, buy that on all these platforms for years and years and years. And it's very difficult to stop completely, right? But you can add friction to it. You can add friction. You can make it harder. You can try to slow it down. Ultimately, though, I think we're sort of heading into a new age of live streaming, a new age of content creation. I like to think of it the same way nowadays when you're kind of scrolling through the internet. Like, AI has changed things a little bit, right? Suddenly you're seeing these images that are popping up and you're like, is this real or is this AI? Like, you're constantly having to make these decisions and trying to sort of figure out for yourself, is what I'm watching authentic or is it not authentic? And
I watch an ad. I watch an ad for myself that I didn't make. It was made on AI.
Well, yeah, exactly.
I swear to God.
Yeah, AI is getting fucking bonkers, isn't it, right?
You can buy points from the store. I didn't do that, man. This is not me. Holy shit. Like,
ever heard of the dead internet theory? Yeah, someone in chat just mentioned this really scary concept of the dead internet theory. But outside of that, I think we really need to work as a community, as a streaming industry, to help people understand that, by engaging in this activity, it's not a good way to go about things, right? I must say the people who are the most successful on Kick, the people who earn the most money, who engage the most loyal community members, who actually have the most natural growth, they're always the people that go about streaming in an honest way. I think inherently, if people are trying to cut corners and increase inflation of their viewers and all that kind of stuff, it has a downstream effect. It creates this distrust, and I think it really fractures the community and the following that you have. And I think people need to understand this. Not to mention, of course, that, Kick as a platform, or Twitch as a platform, or YouTube as a platform, or Twitter as a platform, or whoever it is, it's noticeable. It really is. It's very much noticeable for the platforms. The platforms can see, they've got the back end data. They can tell the difference between a real person and a bot, right? It's full stop. It's always possible. So, when it comes to the recognition and the ability for the platform to truly get behind the individual, the streamer, they stop doing that the moment they go, this person's not honest, they're cheating the system. So, again, the most famous, the most well-known streamers who have truly had the backing of the platform and the broader community, I like to think have always been the honest ones. So, whilst there is no silver bullet, there's no one-size-fits-all solution here for preventing this form of behavior. I like to think that the people who are encouraged and genuinely go about streaming in an honest way that doesn't involve this sort of inflation of statistics will end up at the end of the day in a far better situation than the ones that do. And I just hope that people can continue to echo that message. And, hopefully people can continue to identify the people who are maybe not as authentic and recognize the people who are, because the viewers are the ones that hold the control here. The viewers get to choose who they support and who they recognize. So
but
I'm hoping that'll be the way forward here. But again, what can Kick do? I think Kick can do a lot, and we are always working on adding more friction, making it harder, ensuring that we don't reward people who engage in this behavior. We actually do the opposite. People that view bot, they kind of like they start getting less recognition. They start getting less, Kick partner program money. They everything goes down, right? The moment people start view botting, that everything starts nosediving, and that's what we do.
Now, let me tell you, this is your point of view as a platform in terms of view botting. Let me tell you as a streamer, my point of view in view botting. It's even more frustrating to the streamer than you guys. Why? Look, sometimes people follow or go towards the most watched streamer at the time. But because if I'm in a stream where it have 2,000 viewers, and then I saw this streamer have 10K, then it means this streamer with 10K views is better. What am I doing here? Not everyone will do that, but it definitely changes things. If you know what I mean. Sometimes the unhonest people about their views affect us, if you know what I mean. I had to work for 8 years consistently, losing time for my family to gain these views. A lot of ideas, a lot of creativity, improving every day thinking about my job, new games, new stuff, new activities, and someone come like this, took that away from you. Now he's better than you in the eye of the viewer, at least, and they don't know. This affects us. It's very depressing in a way that only streamers understand. I work very hard, and here comes this guy. He view bots and he beats me. So what do I do in this situation? If you understand what I mean. So yeah, it's frustrating for everyone. It's an unfair competition. I hope it's one day it ends. But yeah, that's all I have to say about the view botting. So it's basically affecting the platform and the users and the streamers. It's bullshit for everyone, to be honest.
No, that's a great point. I think the mental sort of component there that you mentioned is so important as well, right? It definitely has its toll on, streaming's hard work. It is hard work, right? You spend, whether it's 5 hours, 1 hour, 10 hours in the live stream, and then you sort of do judge yourself based upon your concurrent viewers. It is that one metric that people all sort of unify what success looks like. I think sometimes the trick there is to detach a little bit from those numbers. I know it's easier said than done, and it's very difficult, but I think a lot of how you look at live streaming nowadays, the view count is one thing, but the community that you cultivate, the cross-platform success that Andrew was mentioning before, I think there's a lot of factors now that come into play, right? And viewer count is just one metric, which happens to be such an important one in live streaming due to discoverability. But I think certainly, one thing there is just trying to detach from the view count, right? Which I know, again, much easier said than done. It really is much easier said than done. But yeah, I hear you loud and clear. And I think, the call to action there, the real thing that I'm hearing is that Kick and other social media platforms that are victim to this kind of behavior need to do better. There has to be more solutions out there. I'm sure there is. I'm sure there's going to be better ways to try to fight back against it, because ultimately, if it's demoralizing and hurting those people who are really putting in so much effort, then that is going to kill content creation. That's going to set live streaming back, and it's going to help. It's not help, take this industry to the next level, right? And that's our mission. That's our goal here as a platform, is to really unlock and to push live streaming to places it's never been before. And again, if people are going to get discouraged and down and out over some of these sort of false metrics that are perpetuated from time to time, then yeah. I hear you loud and clear, but it's a very interesting take, and I think the way you articulate yourself, it's very sincere and honest, and it's I completely agree with everything you say there, Maherco.
I try to, like just you say, separate myself from the view count, because like once in the COVID area I used to get 50,000-60,000 views back then, because was the thing, and was like the main game we play. Do you remember when Fortnite was at its prime? What PUBG Mobile was at its prime? So like maybe 50,000-60,000 people used to watch me. I got like first in the world for 2 years in a row on Facebook. Then my views decreased a little after the COVID went out, because people went back to their work and everything. So I was depressed. So the streaming industry is like a mutual relationship between views and your happiness, if you understand what I mean. Like in my stream, I have to perform, right? Like, okay, I'm myself, I'm real, I'm authentic, but you have to smile. If my views went down, I will be sad all the time. The views will decrease even more, because I'm not giving the audience what they came to see. They want to see you smiling, laughing, having fun, have good moments. So it's like just like you said, you have to separate yourself from that thing. Have fun with what you have. Okay, I used to get 60,000 views. Now I get like 15, 20. It's okay. I'm very thankful for what I have. So yeah.
Hey, Maherco, like I'm starting to understand why you're so successful, because you speak from the heart. You're highly authentic. I don't sense an ounce of bullshit out of you, man. And you're speaking from the heart, and you are relating to so many creators out there in both your chat and our chat. So what I want to ask you is like, how would you fix it, man? Like if you had your own live streaming platform, right? You have the sensibility of you understand the business aspect of a lot of things in what you're saying, but you also understand the heart and the soul and the sentimentality of what it takes to get to where a guy like you is getting to. So what would you do? Well, I mean, what would you do across TikTok, YouTube, Twitter? I have my thoughts. I think it's a massive coalition that has to happen with advertisers, viewers, and platforms. But like, how would you immediately fix it on a platform like Kick?
It cannot be immediate. Like I'm not technical, to be honest, so I don't know how that should be treated in terms of technicality and like programming and everything. But I know if you program like or update your system or your protection, even the view botters will upgrade their system as well. So because I know that, because it's like we used to have problem with the game PUBG. It used to have a lot of hackers, and then they said now no hackers anymore. 2 days the hackers come back. They update their. It's like that. You update your protection, they update their thing. So I don't think there's a way to stop that immediately. To be honest, I don't have an answer to that, but it's like
it's
very tough.
A tough one.
It's very tough. It's very tough.
And let me give you an example of what we're doing right now, and it's the underlying current is it can turn real controversial. We have an activation right now that's called Kick Road, and it is for creators who are 100 CCV and below. All right.
Okay.
And right now we have 692 who have applied, 692 creators who have applied for this competition. And we had to remove 255, right? So right now we're tracking, with the help of stream charts, we're tracking 432 streamers right now. All right. And I'll put the link in chat so people can take a look at this. This is what I'm getting at. All right.
Okay.
It's no other platform would ever touch something like this, because once you start looking at streamers and their progression and how they're doing with their watch hours, that's what we're monitoring. Watch hours. We're not monitoring viewership. My point is that we identified like 100 CCV and below. That's going to be easy for us to start looking at it and being like, there's something up here. There's something that's not right? Like, it's much easier to look at if you've inflating your views by like 100, 200 views if you are a 50 CCV streamer, as opposed to a 20,000 CCV streamer that might sneak in a couple thousand, you know?
Right.
So my point is that we're not afraid of doing activations for the creator because we might run the risk of this. What we would rather do is like show a spotlight on this and say, hey, like, we see it, we know it's going down, we want to track it, we want to be better around it. And I think that if you look at apples to apples across platforms and how they, look, for instance, like, we don't triple down on technology like other platforms do. We don't pixel embed. All right? Pixel embed is a whole nother, that's the fentanyl of view botting, man. And so you have platforms that actively have engineer teams that pixel embed across their other properties. All right? So when we start to protect ourselves across view botting, it's because our programs like KPP, like, we don't want to pay out people based on, bots. But on other platforms, what they do is they take these bot views and they pass them off to the advertisers as authentic views. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So I guess what I'm saying is that, in my opinion, because I used to work at Twitch, I used to work at Intel, and so across platforms, when I came here, Kick has the most reasons to protect itself from botting. They do the most across it. And then the other thing is that I have been at other companies where they actually have teams to inflate views and manipulate, right? And they understand the name of this game. And like, I'm glad that we're having like an authentic, hardcore discussion about this, because that is a whole nother bag of worms that we're not even digging into, is this nuclear response from platforms who say, holy cow, if this streamer can move up the charts doing this, imagine what we can do as a platform if we're turning around selling inflated views to big time companies like Nike or Adidas or Alienware, things of that nature. It gets much, much worse than what you're saying.
Yeah. I'm sorry, I just got 100 subs, so this is thank you, Athabi. I'm an interview with Eddie, the owner of Kick and Santa Maria. So I'm sorry, so I had to stop the music for the 100 subs. Thank you, bro. Love you. The thing is,
that's not bad. 100 subs.
Yeah. The thing is, I think streamers are even killing themselves by doing that, because you have to monitor everything you do. Like, okay, for example, I started playing Warzone. I started my stream playing Warzone. I get 15K. Okay, so then I changed the game. It went back to 10K. So, okay, so they like Warzone more. Then I opened Omi TV or Instagram Reels, and we talked about things. It went up to 20. So you have to understand what the audience like and what they don't like. So, but by view butting, you're not tracking that. You cannot track that. It's stupid and unauthentic and everything. But one more question I have. Let's what the hell? Sorry. One more question that I want to ask, and I think it's very important. Like, is Kick gonna rely on other source of income in the future? Like some people said, say thanks to Eddie for no ads on Kick. That's one thing, but I believe in business point of view, at the end, you need to. Are you planning like to gain money from the platform as like from ads, subs in the future? I don't know, plans like does Kick have any plans in terms of like RTB or is gonna stay the same?
No, we're just going to keep this as a charity for the rest of the time, Maherco.
Okay. So, yeah.
I'm joking. Of course we're getting ads, man. What do you mean? Yeah, of course. Kick has to make money eventually. It's a business, right?
Okay.
Right now, it's kind of like a bit of a... it's running at a bit of a loss, I admit, right? Kick doesn't make any money. But that's okay. You know, that's the thing, right? With new businesses in highly competitive landscapes, you have to be prepared to take a short-term loss in order for long-term success. And that is the view that we take with Kick.
Exactly.
You know, this is by far an incredibly long marathon. It is by no means a sprint. And, you know, profitability will come.
Okay.
Profitability will come, and that will come in the form of incredible advertising that doesn't hinder the viewer experience. It doesn't deteriorate the viewer experience, but encapsulates the best way to empower creators to make the most money whilst also ensuring that the platform is able to remain sustainable for the long term.
Yeah.
But the great news is with Kick, you know, Kick is in a position where money is not a problem. We're very fortunate.
Okay.
We have the capital and the resourcing to be able to continue until we feel comfortable to make that decision and do so in a way that is properly done. We don't have to rush into it. I think a lot of companies rush into monetizing them because think of this. A lot of companies look at their business and they're like, wow, we're not making money off the business. Every day that we don't make money, we're losing money. They look at it that way, right?
Yeah.
They look at it through this lens of for every single hour, every day that we don't do X, Y, and Z to make money, we're losing money. And that's rightfully so, of course. You know, a lot of people would look at Kick and go, wow, every day you're not running ads, you're losing $1 million or whatever the number is, right? But we don't look at it that way. We look at it like, okay, hold on a second. Let's go slow. Let's go steady. Let's understand the landscape. Let's grow. Let's give people the best viewing experience. Let's attract people to the platform, get them embedded, make sure the technology is good enough, make sure the product's good enough, make sure the community is good enough, make sure we have the opportunity to speak to people like yourself and get the inputs and get the feedback. And then let's start worrying about how to make money long term because we've got time. Okay. There's no rush. Let's go slow and steady and get things to a good position and then start focusing on that. Obviously, there's teams actually nowadays at Kick looking into what that future looks like and how we're going to do it in an effective way. But I think, you know, execution is key. How you go about solving a problem is key. There's always so many solutions. There's always so many ideas out there on how to, you know, in this case, monetize or advertise on a platform. But how you execute on it, how you actually do it is key. And that's something we want to do better than anybody else. A way which can ensure that Kick is able to function long term and be sustainable, but also in a way which doesn't negatively impact people like yourself, your communities, and the broader Kick ecosystem. So to answer your question, yes, we are thinking about it and we will get there, but we're not in a rush.
So basically, what I'm saying, are streamers on Kick safe? Like, can they think like they shouldn't be afraid of the future. Like what happened with Mixer, if you understand what I mean. Like Kick is like sustainable right now. It's like there's no you don't think there's a point where you say, you guys gotta say come on, let's stop this, it's not worth it or anything. This has just come across my mind like a question.
I think, people use the concept of Mixer. Like, Kick is infinitely bigger and more successful than Mixer ever was. Kick is on average in terms of viewership, we're like 5 times bigger than the Mixer was at its peak. Kick has outgrown Mixer so far. I don't even think Kick and Mixer can be compared anymore, right?
Yeah.
Which is a great thing. It's a really great thing. And when you say that, right, I think, again, I can sit here and tell you all the things you want to hear. But at the end of the day, what are we doing right now? We're sitting here talking about Kick. It's 2:30 a.m. on a Sunday morning for me right now, and I'm up here talking to you, Maherco, about the future of Kick. I can assure you that wouldn't be the case if I didn't think there was a bright future out there. So again, coming back to actions speak louder than words. I can assure you, our goal here is to build a long-term live streaming platform that will continue to empower people like yourselves, continue to entertain the thousands, the millions of viewers out there that love enjoying content. And Kick will be at the forefront of that race eventually, and that's the vision here. So no, we would never do something like that. I think, if, and I say that with an emphasis, there ever was to be sort of cracks to start showing in Kick, I'd start looking for the actions. Where's Eddie? Where's the staff members? What's going on? There's cuts here. Look for that. But Kick's been doing the other thing. Haven't been cutting, payments. We haven't been cutting back on partners. We haven't been cutting back on the amount of advertising and effort we put in. We've been putting more in. We've been investing more. We've been more vocal. We've been louder than ever. We've been communicating more. We've been doing more updates to the software, the platform than ever. So, again, coming back to that, I would always look at actions opposed to words. And I think, if you're ever worried about it, look out and see what's going on in the broader industry, the broader business, and compare ourselves to others. I think, if you look at other live streaming platforms and how they're communicating, I'd be more worried about them. I'd be more worried about them than Kick. If you're looking at longevity, I think there's other streaming platforms out there which I honestly wouldn't be surprised if they look to shut down in the near future. Kick, on the other hand, we're here every week, sitting here talking about it, constantly updating the platform, constantly working on making it better. That's where we're at. We're investing in this industry.
True.
I know we don't have any sort of parent company that sits down and tells us what to do. We don't have any risks such as that. Kick is autonomous in nature. I think there is far less risk of what you're mentioning there on Kick than any other platform. And I say that from the bottom of my heart. I genuinely believe that from every aspect. Obviously, I'm a little bit biased because I've got the insights into actually what's going on here at Kick and what's happening. But to answer your questions, actions, man. Look at the actions. Look at what we're doing. Look at what
it is more successful
forward.
Like a million times better than Mixer. I know that, but this is the only example we know that like something went huge and then stopped. This is why I give the example. So a lot of people here talking about the Middle East asking, such as my friend Saadullah, which is from Egypt, and a lot of people are from Syria, some people are from Palestine. This is the Middle East region and Lebanon. So they're asking about another way of payment method on Stripe because they cannot do that. Are this going to happen in the future? A lot of people, like some of my team, had to come to my country, Jordan, where Stripe is allowed, so they can create a bank account in Jordan and then link it to Stripe so they can get their payments. A friend of mine got his money stuck because his country is not there, which is Syria, the things that happen over there. So, of course, Stripe will not support that. So his money is stuck in Stripe for like 8 months. So I used to tell him it's good, dude. You're making money. You're keeping it there. You're not spending anything. But eventually, he took his money at the end, with the help of you guys. They're asking if they're like anywhere or any plan to improve that payment methods. Yeah.
No, to answer that question, I think there's the broader subject is more so around payments coverage, and that's a huge initiative for us here at Kick, right? Is ensuring that we have far better localized payment coverage across the world. Obviously, in the Middle East, the payment methods that you guys use are very different to, say, the payments we use here in Australia versus the payments that are used in North America, which is also different to Canada, which is different to Brazil. In Canada, I know it'd be amazing if we could have Interac as a method to pay with. I know that in Brazil, we need to have Pix. In India, we need to have UPI. In the Middle East, we need to have other methods. In Europe, of course, we've got PayPal coming along. That's very big there. So there's the localized payment methods is a huge aspect. I think, coming back to what we were speaking about a bit before, on the kicks and how we can continue to elevate that sort of gifting or that donation ecosystem. Payments coverage is top of mind when we sort of think about that. So yeah, 100%. We've got some really amazing updates coming shortly in regards to, I think the biggest one being PayPal. We need to get PayPal added, and
yeah, that's amazing.
Hopefully we'll have some great news around that at some point in time, which I'd look forward to sharing with you guys at the right time. But there's other opportunities out there as well, like really important payment methods, which are very important to specific regions that we need to support. So that is a huge initiative of ours, heading into the latter half of this year, and further on into 2026.
Some people are asking back on Facebook, there was like a thing where you can enable translate. I know that's very hard. It was spontaneous immediately. Like I even sometimes may make a video fun of it. Like I can say hello immediately. It translates down. So if that's possible and it's not like very costly for Kick, a lot of people in the Middle East are asking for that.
Did you see that clip of I Show Speed wearing the glasses that translate? He's in China right now. He was wearing glasses, and it translated Chinese almost immediately from Chinese to English.
Yeah, we used to have that. To be honest, I don't know how that worked. It was immediate. I don't know how that works.
The tech is out there. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
The tech is out there. Yeah.
So some people just question from the chat of mine.
I think we're fortunately in a day and age right now where the speed at which technology is moving, especially when it comes to stuff like translations, real-time translations, it's now possible. I think in the past, the most difficult thing with real-time translations is it is quite compute heavy. Obviously in real time, taking the speech and then translating it and then returning it all in less than 1 second is quite compute heavy. So then obviously when you start translating, say, from English to 5 different languages, or Arabic to 5 other languages, that gets even heavier. Obviously we'll probably start with 1-to-1 sort of situations, but it's definitely possible. There's some amazing companies out there doing this already. They're offering these services. I think it is about making sure that it's A, economical, and B, that the service and the quality is up to standard. I think, if you introduce an update like this, this comes back to a lot of the ethos we talk about here on Kick Talk quite often, is, when Kick especially, Kick as a platform starts to release more of these updates, you want to ensure that the quality of these updates are really high. So we've got a few solutions that we've looked into. They've been good, but they haven't been incredible. And I think, hopefully we'll have one there, because obviously Kick is very global, incredibly global. We have people from the Middle East, Turkey, South America. We have people all across the globe that use Kick that speak several tens of different languages, and how we can find ways to connect those audiences and bring them together will be amazing. So yeah, top of mind, that translation tooling. I think the good news is the technology around that is moving so fast. It's insane. The world as we know it when it comes to this is changing. As Andrew just mentioned, iShowSpeed is wearing glasses which immediately translate in real time. That's unreal. So I don't think it's far off. And I look forward to being able to watch your live streams and understanding exactly what you're saying in real time when that's a possibility.
Hey, real quick, just to clarify something for your audience, and Eddie, please correct me if I'm wrong, but the way I understand PayPal for us is that it's not going to be a payout option for creators. It's just going to be a payment option. So like Stripe pays you out, right? You get a deposit every week or every month from Stripe. But that's not how PayPal is going to work. It's just going to be strictly a payment option rather than a payout option. So just to clarify that.
Okay.
Yeah. No. So right now we are very heavily embedded with Stripe Connect. We do utilize Stripe Connect for all creators' accounts and then subsequently send the money through there. Of course, our goal is to be as technology agnostic as possible. We shouldn't be relying on single providers. That's just good practice from any business. So we will look to decouple that at some point. But yeah, certainly the first step would be allowing incoming funds to come through PayPal and then allow creators to cash that out or redeem it or withdraw it through Stripe. But down the line, you should ultimately be storing your money with Kick. And then from Kick, you can send it to Stripe, or you can send it to PayPal, you can send it to here or there, and then obviously have that ability to pick and choose how you want to disperse your funds. Of course, the Stripe Connect solution we currently have is amazing. Stripe does a great job, but Maherco, to your point, it's not available in every region. Some people have more problems than others. So we want to own that technology and we want to own that service layer at some point in time, but it is something which will require a lot of work. And it will be a very important architectural decision for the platform. So we want to make sure we do it well. We want to do it very well. But yeah, to that point, PayPal won't be available for payouts to begin with. But certainly, I think the first step and the most important step is allowing people to donate or gift subs or subscribe with PayPal.
Through PayPal. Yeah. That's very important, actually. Okay, so I have two important questions. One is I talked about a lot in the past year, which is look like I have a team that plays with me the whole live stream, and to show them support, like I used to host their stream like every day, one by one, like they're 5 streamers, so today I will host like A, tomorrow I will host B, the day after I will host C. Not every day, but like every month, like 10 times, let's say, so I can support them on their journey to success. So after a while, the KCIP stopped paying them the amount of views that I hosted them, if you know what I mean. Like I host them like at the end of the day, like at 5 a.m., I'm sorry, like 10K, and they stream for 5 hours, and they get only what they used to get paid.
I think a big part about the calculations for just clarify we say it's no longer KCIP Maherco, it's KPP, Kick Partner Program.
Yeah, KPP. Let's forget. I've been saying KCIP for a year now, so it's hard to change it. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I know. Okay. Even I find myself still calling it KCIP. But yeah, to answer that question, I think a big part about how the Kick Partner Program pays people out and how it creates that, that sort of hourly pay is it obviously is heavily reliant on a lot of factors. One of which, of course, which is very important, is concurrent viewers, right? And the way it works is it kind of goes up and down depending on how your streams are doing. If say you're used to streaming at say this much views, and then it spikes up to like this much, there's a bit of a delay. It doesn't increase immediately. It'll slowly, increase. It's all about consistency, right?
Yeah.
The Kick Partner program and the way it pays you out, it puts a heavy emphasis on consistency. So consistently receiving a certain amount of viewers, consistently receiving a certain amount of chat interaction, consistently receiving authentic and real viewers versus bots or whatever, right?
Oh, that's what I'm talking
constantly. So
yeah, that what I was talking about. I think when I host someone, like Kick recognize it as view bots because like he immediately gains 10K views. So what the hell happened here? 1,000 viewers?
Yeah, one thing I'd recommend is probably if you're looking to host people for the sake of them earning more on the Kick Partner program, I'd recommend hosting them sort of 4, 5, 6, 7 times in a row, and then the rate will start to update and allow for it to increase, right? If you do just one host, it'll give them a higher rate. It certainly will. It will be higher, but it won't be say they average 100 viewers and then you give them 10,000. They're not going to get 100x their pay. It's just not how it works. Otherwise, the system could be very easily abused. It works with a bit of a memory, right? It has a bit of a memory on the last certain amount of days, especially the more recent ones. So it takes time to adjust, put it that way. So if you hosted the same person every day for a week, at that point, you'd start to see a lot more of that viewership start being included in the payout formula there. So anyway, without getting into too much detail of the formula, think of it of rewarding people for consistency. Consistency is very important. If you have one huge stream, it won't reward you as much as if you have, say, like 10 medium streams. It's all about your kind of average viewership, that average engagement that they're used to receiving.
So yeah, basically, because it's like it's from Kick pockets. It's not from like advertising and whatsoever. If it was like ads, even if I host them, he will get the money for the ads. But because it's from like Kick relying to itself, its own capital, its own money. So yeah, so I understand your point of view right now. So one more question. I noticed like, and I even once heard you like you love to support some mid to small streamers that doing good content more than a big streamer that it is used to like or start being lazy. I heard that from you on stream one day, and I like that a lot. So what's your plan about that? Like you think at the beginning of your stream when you start, you want to gain audience, so you're energetic and everything, but then when you get famous and you get used to it, you start laying low, start thinking less. I don't have to do much. So I think that what you mean by that. So what is the plan on like supporting good streamers or something?
Yeah, when I think of that question, right, I think there's multiple aspects to it, right? I think, to be fair, there's some really big streamers out there which do great jobs at just doing very relaxed content, and their communities love them for that. There's nothing wrong with that, right? There's nothing wrong
me as well.
with just sitting back, relaxing, and talking to your community and just having a good time, right?
Yeah,
like that. That's fine. That's
of
fine.
course.
That's fine.
I'm one of those.
That's all very well.
I'm one of those. I'm relaxing. I'm just talking truly from the heart. Sometimes I get angry. They like that because I lost in the game or something.
It's not about doing production level streams every time. But I think Kick, when you peel back everything about a live streaming platform, right? Let's peel it back. What is Kick, right? What is it as a product? Kick as a product is pretty much a directory of live streams. All we do is we take everyone's live stream and then we place it on the website and say, okay, now go and find who you want to watch, right? So, realistically, our job is to make sure that we are promoting, that we are recognizing, and we are rewarding the streamers that we believe are doing the best job. Like, that is primarily our main job as a platform, as a product. So when I say, you know, our job is not so much at just looking at viewership, it's looking at content, right? It's looking at understanding, okay, this person might have 10,000 viewers. However, this person down here at 10 viewers is really putting in 100% effort. How can we get behind them? How can we support them and make them into that next 10,000 viewer streamer, right? So, you know, I think, you know, it is a big job of Kick as a platform to support people who are really going above and beyond, putting the effort in and looking out for, you know, the future of live streaming, as we continually call it. You know, with that said, it's nothing against people who want to relax and take it easy. But I must say, I think the people who do become too content, and this is to the first question or first discussion we had, right? It was around, you know, consistency and continuing to look out for the audience and make sure that you're truly giving them what they deserve in terms of entertainment. You know, I think if you do become too content with say success, then yeah, the viewers will go elsewhere where they're going to get more entertained. But again, just purely from Kick's perspective and our job, I think our job is to identify. Our job is to notice the people who are really putting in a lot of work and making those high energy streams and delivering that incredibly entertaining content, and then recognizing and promoting it. So that's what I kind of mean by that. But I do agree that there's a lot of smaller guys putting in a lot more effort than the bigger guys. That's just knowing nowadays. It's just how things are.
You know, one way of doing that is like, you know, the Kick Rival tournament that I did the other day. There was like a lot of mid streamers that have like between 200 to 400 views, got recognized a lot on that tournament because it have a lot of teams and a lot of streamers. So I think Kick Rivals was very successful. You don't know how much positive the feedback was, and it pushes a lot of small good streamers by a lot, and they're thankful to that, and they're still thankful to it. So I believe like Kick Rivals should be more often, and I like how Kick still encourages like or rewarding big streamers to do even better. I saw the competition on Instagram where's like the highest watch hour will get like 50K. So can you explain more about that competition or how it works or who earn it or yeah?
Yeah, this one here is an amazing competition. I'll tell you what, this is the brainchild of none other than Andrew here. So maybe I'll hand it to Andrew on explaining a bit more about Kick Road.
Okay.
Yeah, Kick Road, I mentioned this earlier, which was, all right, so there's two things I'm going to mention, right, for small streamers, okay? The first one, I just pinned it in Eddie's chat. I said, hey, you small streamer with a good idea. We have a program called Pitch Kick, and I put the website up there. This is for those people that you just said. They just need a little push. They just need a little exposure. But at the same time, we want to front page an idea or a concept that they thought out, right? Not just like hit go live and go, right? Like there needs to be some structure to it. They need to sit down and they need to think about it, because I think that that's one thing that a lot of streamers are lacking is the ability to self-reflect and get themselves out of whatever hole that they think they're in, right? So if you go over there to Pitch Kick, it'll show you all the requirements, and you can get up to 12 episodes on the front page. We don't care how big a streamer you are or how small a streamer you are. If you've got a good idea and it's well thought out, we're going to front page you, right? And we're able to front page people regionally. So if you're out of the MENA region, we will front page you on the MENA front pages. If you're out of the Latin America region, we will front page you.
Let me explain them what you just said. Did you pin that on Eddie's?
On Eddie's, yeah.
Okay. شباب, أي ستريمر عربي مشاهداته متوسطة وعنده فكرة حلوة أو حاس حاله كونتنت كرييتر مبدع, يفوت على بث إديم ثبتين رابط هناك, تقدر تقدم على انه عندك فكرة حلوة لبثوث, فممكن يحطوك على فرونت بيج. اوكي, فالستريمرز اللي علاق. Yeah, I just said that to the Middle Eastern streamers on my live. So
cool. The second thing, Kick Road. We talked about Kick Road earlier when we were talking about view botting, right? So Kick Road right now, all right, Kick Road is leading up to DreamHack Dallas that is going to be in Dallas May 23rd through the 25th. Now, we're testing this, right? This is for, I'm going to be blunt, this is only for people in the United States right now because no one's ever run a program like this. We want to see what this does, okay? So we opened up this competition. It's $20,000 to the person who produces the most watch hours during over the course of 9 weeks leading up to Dallas DreamHack. Okay. Now we're then giving another $30,000 away in 6 different categories, $5,000 each. So we have just chatting, we have IRL, we have GTA, we have art, we have live music, and then we have gaming. Okay. So the overall streamer who produces all the watch hours gets 20,000, and then we have follow-up prizes of 5,000, and then we're going to do other things. We're going to give away merch codes, or we're talking about giving away IRL backpacks. But this is specifically for streamers with 100 CCV or below, right? So we've teamed up with Stream Charts, that is a data tracking stream analyst platform that is helping us identify, in real time, the leaderboard. And I posted that link earlier. I'll post it again, but you can go up there. We have 436 streamers that we're tracking right now under 100 CCV. But here's the beautiful part. We had 697 apply so far. We've had to remove 255 because they were inflating their views, or they were tabbing each other up, or they were doing all the things that we were discussing earlier. But it's much more manageable to track creators who have a smaller CCV. It's more evident when they start botting themselves, right? But what you'll see is all of a sudden we have a lot of streamers now who have thought differently. Now they go to TikTok. Now they go to YouTube, and they get their brand out there, and they drive traffic to Kick. The people who are dominating in this competition are doing exactly that. We have a guy named Primetime. He multi-streams to YouTube, he multi-streams to Facebook, and he pushes everything to his Kick right now. So this is just really igniting the smaller streamers to start to think like the big guys, right? To start to think differently, all right? The only thing that I'll say after Kick Road, we're going to take these learnings, all right? And then at Dallas DreamHack, we are going to celebrate the winners. So we're going to announce who the winners are, and we're going to take all the content, the highlight reels, and we're going to celebrate it at our booth in Dallas. We're going to run the reels. We're going to show the posters that they created for going live. It's a true celebration of the content creation of these smaller streamers. We're going to take these learnings and we're going to say, all right, if we're going to do this, what are the best practices to do this globally? Is the juice worth the squeeze? Is this resonating with the small streamer? How can we adapt this so that we ensure that the competition is fair, but we can do it at scale at a global level? We've seen great signs that everyone in Latin America is like, why isn't this in Latin America? Why isn't this in MENA? Why isn't this across the globe? And that's a great sign for us to see, but we have to learn with this small subset. Same thing what we did with KPP. We started in the States with 33 people, and then we blew it out globally. And so everything that we do is in the mindset to start off small, test it to make sure that it doesn't break if we scale it, right? That's the key. And the last thing I want to say, Maherco, is I don't think we've ever had a streamer your size come on to TikTok and advocate for the small streamer like you have. And that to me is absolutely amazing. I want to commend you for that because that is such a big thing that people your size don't typically do.
It even knows more. I always I can be like basically an asshole and fuck those small streamers. To be honest, they're on my stream. They're watching. I told them to come watch, and if they have question, so they can ask. But like, I want them to have what I have. I want them like to feel what I feel. Like I'm right now. I'm really thankful. Except yesterday, Eddie. So you have to watch that stream. There was a lot of streaming right there. Anyway, so I'm really thankful for Cake, what it gives me, and with the position where I am. And I feel like there's very good streamers with not a lot of views that deserve a little bit better. But at the end, it's a business. So yeah, everyone understand how it works. So one more question. Can we tell them where I'm going at the 26th of this month, Eddie? Should we say that?
Of course.
What's the date exactly?
I believe it's 21st to 23rd, maybe. Or maybe I'm wrong. Let me check.
Okay. طبعا إيدي عازمني. I'm telling them in Arabic. Excuse me. إيدي عازمني أكون في حلبة السعودية مع فريق الكيك فورمولا 1. راح أكون موجود هناك أنا وأحضر السباق، وأكون في لي معاملة VIP. راح نكون موجودين جوا التيم ونصور معاهم ونحضر السباق ونصورهم ونشجعهم، وبصراحة شغلة كثير كبيرة وكثير حلوة. So yeah, they're all clapping. They're happy. I didn't tell them until I ask you if I can. So yeah, basically we're going to the Kick Formula 1 team, and yeah, do you know that I like Formula 1 and I like driving and I like cars in general.
Yeah, you got the simulator in the background there.
Yeah. I like driving since I was a kid. And even in the Subathon, I don't know if you watch when I drifted, we did an IRL stream when I rented like a drift car and we drift around a course. We did a lot of activities in the Subathon, but it's not what I wanted. I want something better, and we're going to do that in the future, hopefully. So, yeah.
Amazing. No, I think you're gonna have an incredible time out there. I'm sure you'll hopefully have a lot of your viewers out there that even will be, in attendance at the event, and I'm sure I'm sure you're quite used to traveling around all places and seeing many of your fans.
Do you think should I IRL that?
I think with the F1 events, the IRL streaming component is a little bit hard because there is like very strict DMCA on the Formula 1.
Okay.
However, I think like outside of the races, you can certainly definitely try to.
So yeah,
it'd be awesome.
Okay. So I'll just watch the events because I like Formula 1 a lot. So one more thing, a question. I get asked a lot by people who want to join Kick in the Middle East because, we're Muslims, we're strict in terms of like halal and haram and stuff like that. So is like Kick only relying on stake money, or like there's other capitals or investments or other way of doing that? If you can explain more about that.
Yeah, so Kick and Stake obviously share some common shareholders, me being one of them.
Okay.
But in terms of funding, both Stake and Kick have completely separate books, completely separate accounting systems, completely separate financials. Okay. Kick is funded primarily through its shareholders, right? And obviously Stake is a big component, at least on my behalf. It's certainly a big aspect, but it's not the only aspect, right? I think the income and the wealth that has been generated that funds Kick is a part of a much broader picture whether that be through investments in other companies, investments in other aspects. So no, it's I think the concept there, of course, if you take the source of funds all the way back to the very beginning, maybe you can look at it that way. But at the end of the day, two very separate companies, different accounting, and of course, the only thing that puts these two in common is several shareholders who have a common interest, right? So, I think it's no secret. It's no secret that there is overlap between Stake and Kick, but that doesn't mean that they're funded from each other directly. That is completely untrue and not the case at all.
Okay, amazing. Yeah, so more people can know, because a lot of people think it's only that way, and so for that was just a question to clear that out.
Hey, Maherco, let me add to that for your audience, right? So I was a Twitch guy. Okay, so when I saw what Eddie and Bajan and these guys were cooking up, I was like, because I was at Twitch when these guys were getting ushered out for nefarious reasons on Twitch's end, right? Not being fair, right? So what I'm trying to drive home is that, like, I came over here because I'm a live streaming guy. Like, I don't cross over into any of their other businesses. Like, that's not my business, right? Like, so my point is that if these guys were looking to create like a Stake 2.0, they would staff accordingly like a Stake 2.0. You get what I'm saying? But they're looking to conquer the media space with live streaming, right? So I just want to add that there, that when I was being interviewed and looked at for coming over here, there was no questions around like, what's your involvement with, crypto casinos or things of that nature. Like, I have zero experience in that. I'm strictly a live streaming guy. So I just want to drive that home, just to show like actions speak louder than words, like what Eddie was saying, because if not, you just like, you just hire differently.
Yeah. I'm very happy with what Kick is doing right now. It's doing great. And I want to ask one more question. Is like Kick thinking of like contracting with other big streamers in the future, bring to the platform, not like Arabic or other?
Yeah. I think, we spoke a little bit about this last weekend. I think, Kick was really fortunate, amazingly unfortunate, to attract a lot of incredibly big names to the platform, like yourself, like the XQCs of this world, like Aiden Ross.
Yeah.
Anyway, a lot of big names come to mind, right? They've come to the platform. They have helped to say, hold on, Kick is the real deal. Kick is having a real shot at entering this industry. And we were, again, so fortunate to have these people come on and put their faith and their time into Kick. And we will continue to support these people through and through. But when we look at the live streaming space and when we look at the future of live streaming, the future of live streaming doesn't lie only in the people with existing audiences. It lies in the people who are still yet to create their fan base. They're still yet to create their large following. And we need to invest heavily in that. We want to invest in the next big upcoming streamers. We want those streamers to start on Kick, grow on Kick, and become famous on Kick. They're the people we want to really put our weight behind. They're the people we want to see succeed. This is what we call homegrown talent. And I truly believe that the next generation of live streamers are going to weigh up their options. They're going to look at YouTube. They're going to look at Twitch. They're going to look at Kick, and they're going to go, hold on a second. I'm out here starting my career. Where should I go? And they'll look to Kick and go, that's my best shot. That's the future. I'm going to stream on Kick. And then subsequently, the next generation, all these are crazy, amazing, upcoming streamers who are going to redefine live streaming will be here on Kick from day dot. And that is what we're investing in. So, a lot of our strategy has moved away from going, okay, how do we find this person and this person and this person? Because you know what? In 2 to 3, 4 years, some of them might not be where they are. That's just a reality. As sad as it is, a lot of these people won't still be here. We need to invest in the future. the people who are not yet famous and ensure that we support them. So that's our initiative. That's what we're truly backing. That's who we're getting behind. And that's how we feel that our resources can be best used.
I agree. Fully agree with you. That's a very good answer, to be honest. So my audience are asking me like for
يفضح عرضه شو حكى
for like more kick rivals tournaments, stuff like that. I have an imagination of like a tournament on Fall Guys. Imagine like most of the kick streamers are joining Fall Guys in the same time and competing for one streamer to win, and they're all streaming at the same time. That would be hilarious. So this is one of the ideas I have. And so is Kick Rival gonna continue? Or is it just like,
well, Maherco, if you're happy to continue running these things again behind them, we mention this all the time because, you know, we really want to find opportunities for us to help invest and help support the right initiatives. It's just sometimes hard to find those initiatives. That's kind of the difficult part. So, you know, as long as you're going to be there guaranteeing the success, guaranteeing the execution of these, of course. You know, we just spoke to Odablock recently, and Andrew, I'm hoping he reaches out to run the All-Stars tournament he was speaking about, for example. And you know, I think we spoke a little bit to influence the city around some of what they were looking to do. And again, the answer is always yes. We want to invest in these initiatives. We want to help you guys make incredible content, create incredible opportunities for people to collaborate, and again, lead to this idea of like, what can live streaming be if we truly support it? So, yeah, the answer is 100% yes. As long as the execution's there, as long as the resourcing and the funding is going to the right people who are able to put on great events that, you know, clearly entertain the broader community, then we will continue to double down and support these initiatives. And I think, you know, Kick Rivals that was ran in the Arabic Middle Eastern region was amazing, and I think we'd love to run it back.
One more thing. There's some issues. A lot of people tell me like, if you can fix some issues in the iPhone app and the Android app, the PC, I don't think it's there a lot. Even in some pages, because like I'm one of the first like few Arabic people to create the my page. I don't know if that the problem I'm gonna tell you is related to that or not. The pool, if I want to do a pool, what should we play next, guys? It will never exceed 1,000. Never. It will not show to everyone. They cannot click it. No, there's no way to do that. So if that's a problem with my page, or if that's a problem with the pool itself.
1,000 what?
Like if I made a pool asking a question, what should we play next? There's a question.
Oh, yeah.
There's a problem where it does not show to everyone on the stream. So I'm still having this problem. I reported it.
Oh,
like
I know you're talking about. Yeah. No, we're reworking polls. Yeah, we need to rework polls. That's on the to-do list. I think there is. Yeah, I think it comes back to this analogy that we kind of had from a while back, that the kind of Kick was built very quickly in the early days with some foundational technology, which was a little bit flimsy. You know, one of the more some of the older features, such as polls, need to be kind of rewritten from a coding perspective, from a technical perspective. High on our list of to-dos. You mentioned the app, though. We've got some. I think about 10% of people on iOS and 5% of people on Android should have our new app at the moment, which has been so far received really well. Far more performant, fixes a lot of the underlying bugs. We're really looking forward to releasing that out over the coming days or weeks, depending on how this phased rollout goes. So yeah, we're working through that. I think, you know, it really is an expectation for viewers that they have a seamless, perfect experience. I think, you know, obviously the competition out there is really tough. We're up against some of the world's best tech companies, right? You know, you've got Amazon with Twitch, you've got Google with YouTube, you've got Facebook with Facebook Live. Like they're literally the best tech companies in the whole entire world.
Yeah.
And, obviously their downstream products are almost flawless. So I think, ultimately when Kick has even the smallest bug, people are like, hold on, what's going on here? Fix this up, please. And we hear you loud and clear. We have to aim and strive for perfection, and that's what we're going for. So yeah, everything you mentioned there, anything that pops up, one thing that I would recommend to you and your community is if people run into bugs, run into issues, is reaching out to our team and letting them know what issues they had. You have no idea how helpful that is. I think a lot of the time, people run into small bugs and they go, oh, it's just a small bug. I don't worry about it. Like, I'll leave it. But even if it's a small bug that annoys you, even for a second, just reach out to our team, say, hey, look, I experienced this issue that, wasn't great. And just, explain to them how it happened, as much information as possible. And it can help us prioritize. Obviously, we probably already know about it, but it does help us prioritize things a little bit better. Obviously, we have our own monitoring in place on our back end to be able to, understand when these issues do arise. So from a frequency perspective, but if it's an issue that is so, it's kind of frustrating to the extent that you're happy to reach out to our support team, it really helps us then go, okay, hold on a second. This is something we need to get ahead of. So yeah, to answer the question, perfection is the goal in terms of how the app, how the website, how all the features work. And I think, we've got a long way to go, or maybe not a long way anymore. We've got a little bit of way to go, but we're getting there. We really are. We're making really big headway, and I'm super confident that it's not going to be long until Kick as a technical product will be just as good, if not better, than the competition in more areas than it's not.
I was always telling my audience that, when I first started, like there were some issues. When you try to full screen your phone, it wasn't working. A lot of problems. But I was telling them, guys, it can only get better from here, because it was just a beta. Like they recognize the issues and they will fix them. Improvement will come. So from now on, everything will improve. It will not get worse. Like this is the situation here. So I believe it's going to be perfect. And you don't know how much I was happy that Streamlabs finally supported Kick. Like I did a celebration, dude. But still, there's some problems in there. I can't do the gifted sub thing. I still rely to Botrix. But so yeah, it's gonna continue like improving in terms of these things. And yeah, so basically that's all I have to say.
Awesome. Well, Maherco, listen, it's been an absolute pleasure getting to speak to you live. I know we spent a lot of time speaking offline when we're not on live, but it's great to have you here on Kick Talk. I know it's been a while to set this one up. It's been a great conversation. I think some really good questions asked there, and I think if anything can be taken away is just that reassurance, that Middle East Arabic community that you represent, that, we're here, we're supporting you guys, want to hear you out, want to continue to do best by you guys. And, I know for a fact you'll keep waving our flag, you'll keep waving our banner, and, making sure that we receive the feedback and subsequently your communities, not just yours, but the broader Middle East region will continue to hear us loud and clear as we continue to do right by you guys. So let's keep the communication running. And yeah, thank you so much for joining us today.
You don't know how big this is for me. I enjoyed it a lot. It was like a minute for me, to be honest. I enjoyed it a lot. I hope my audience and your audience enjoyed it a lot as well. And things will only get better from here in terms of everything. And never been happiest since I joined Kick. Really, really, really happy. Will continue to be loyal and supportive to like we have a say, you don't shit where you eat. So I will always be loyal to the platform. But like, excuse me, if I try to help some small streamers every now and then, I always reach out to you. Please, like, look at this guy. Now I'm talking to Nabil about that, and I have a sheet and I send it to Nabil to like relook at that. So yeah, that's all I have to say. Very nice to meet you. Very honored. I'm very happy to be at Kick. Really, really, really.
Means so much hearing that. I think, when you mention, if you look at your last 15 sort of years in the content creation industry, Maherco, and you're telling me you're the happiest you've ever been here at Kick, then that says a lot. So let's keep it that way. Let's keep it running in that same direction. Let's maintain that trajectory, and man, we'll be in contact. Thank you so much. And thank you to all your community too. I know there's like 15,000 people watching you right now. So big shout out to all Maherco's viewers.
Guys,
You've got I think
hearts.
about 10 times more people watching you than I've got watching me. So it's more like I'm a guest on your stream, to be honest.
No, dude. Guys, spam hearts for Eddie and the team and Kick for everything. Like, seriously, I'm not even kidding. I'm so happy to be here. This is very, very amazing. And we hope to continue supporting each other to be the best platform in the industry. And I believe that will happen. So, yeah.
Let's do it. See you, Maherco. Have a great day.
See you guys. Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Thank you.